Anything from the last class? I'll be constantly watching that. Yes.
It's not related to what we studied, but there was something question of why does bad things happen to good people?
Correct.
Right. So now how do you define what is good and what is bad? And that's really subjective. Right? What may be good to someone may not be good to somebody else.
Very interesting. Yes.
So how would you well, that's like my question. How would you define good and bad?
Were you there to hear the answer?
Anything good for someone is always bad for someone else.
No, that was not the answer. That was not the answer. But yeah, I think we were discussing maybe from the purport last time, or maybe it was a Bhagavatam class. So even when we define morality, for example, so what is moral for someone, maybe, or we were actually reading this in our reading class. Correct. What was the line?
You were not there. I thought it was the last study also. Today, after
नहीं तो recap किया ना हमने. So he started. So what was the line?
Like activities which are immoral for some are moral for others, and what are moral for others are some activities which are moral for others are immoral for some.
Okay, and
so for an example, in Western countries there is they drink wine and they think that it is okay.
It's good. That's what we learned.
So that is okay for people who are living in the West. But for us, it is not. As for Krishna consciousness, we intoxication is not allowed.
Yeah.
Blood of Jesus.
What?
Yeah, given in the Chinese.
So, I did not know that.
A piece of bread with wine in church, and they say that it's blood of Jesus.
I don't know if that is authentic, but no, I'm sure some churches might be doing that, but I'm not sure if that's in line with teachings of the Lord Jesus. So,
like meat taking around is allowed in
So, material morality and immorality. Sorry. There will always be a conflict as per time, place, and circumstance. What will be, high moral standards for someone may be, very immoral for someone else. But why was the statement made by Prabhupada in that book? What was the follow-up? Himanta Prabhu, you were also there.
Yes, that's right.
I thought you were not there. Who was there? Krishna Prabhu was there.
What are you asking?
So, what is the next line after this statement? From on the way to Christianity. So why was this brought up was because in connection with the shloka, api chet su duracharo bhajate mam ananebha sadhureva samantraya samyak devastoni saha. A devotee, he may sometimes appear to act. You remember? You want to say it?
No,
It's okay.
Maybe I made
no problem. Go on.
There are bad habits in a devotee. If at all there are some bad habits also in a devotee, but he is practicing Krishna consciousness, and slowly and steadily he will give up on those bad activities.
Correct.
But because of nature or circumstances,
Habits or circumstance, yeah.
So people do continue doing their bad habits, but if they follow Krishna consciousness, slowly and steadily they will give up on those bad habits. As a fan is when switched off, keeps rotating, but eventually it comes to a halt.
Correct.
So bad habits are like that only. You keep rotating even after you are practicing Krishna consciousness. But with time and everything, it will come to a halt.
Because
you are moving towards
because the current is off. Yes. So हमने switch off कर दिया है तो there is no electric current for it to push it further. Right?
That is something written in Bhagavad Gita also.
What is it? Similar to me.
Where he said even that is why there is a reason you should not criticize or
Correct. That's a flow. Api chet su duracharo bhajate mam ananebha. Yes. So somebody who seriously, with single-pointed focus, practicing Krishna consciousness should be considered a sadhu. Even though externally we might see some bad habits, so those are remaining things which might clear off in some time, and that some time maybe some lifetimes also. For some people, it may be some lifetimes also. For some people, it may be a matter of few years or maybe few months. Who knows, right? But and I gave also the example that we are all in a hospital. Right? The temple is just like a hospital. Don't expect everybody to be in perfect health in a hospital. When you go to hospital, do you see people who are sick? Do you see that?
Yes.
Right? किसी का पैर टूटा है, किसी का आंख फूटा है, right? किसी को ऐसा बीमार पड़ा है, ऑपरेशन होने वाला है. Somebody is just having a simple flu. Somebody is there for an X-ray, right? Why? Because everyone is diseased, and there are some doctors, right? So our doctor is Srila Prabhupada and his disciples, right? We are all patients to some degree or the other. Somebody is more sick, किसी को ICU की जरूरत है, मेरे जैसे लोगों को, और कुछ लोग हैं जो थोड़े नॉर्मल हैं, right? So don't expect that, oh, they'll be perfect. अरे devotee ने ऐसा behave कर लिया, you know, people may accuse. Sometimes not even knowing, out of ignorance also they accuse. I remember there was Krishna Bhajan Prabhu. He had met an accident, very serious accident. So he had almost like fractured so many more than the spinal problem. So he was unable to, sit on the floor. So on a festival day, he was sitting next to Prabhupada on a chair. And then some family came, there was one old Mataji also. And obviously he couldn't get up to offer a seat. Later on, I met another devotee who was criticizing, "Yaar, ये देखो brahmachari, old lady खड़ा भी नहीं हो रहा है." मैं बोला, "प्रभु आपको पता है क्या हुआ उनके साथ में? Why is he not standing up?" Right? So our disease is this criticizing mentality, right? बिना सोचे समझे हम चालू जाते हैं, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he describes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, one of the purports actually, Srila Prabhupada writes, if a devotee chants Hare Krishna, right, follows four regulative principles, and in his entire life does not criticize another devotee, I'll personally come and take him back to Bhagavad. So criticism is actually extremely detrimental for us. We have to go.
Only towards devotees or anyone?
Particularly towards devotees. I mean, if you're in a position of an authority, say for example, if you're a father, or if you're a manager in a temple, right? You're an authority for someone, or if you're a guru or shiksha guru, you're an authority, you have the right to criticize, right? So there was one episode where one devotee, I'm forgetting the name of the devotee, but he came to Prabhupada and he said, Prabhupada, मैंने उसको थोड़ा सा बोला और ये एकदम नाराज हो गया, devotee, right? And do I not have a right to tell him because I'm actually one of the authorities in the temple and he's doing something wrong? How do I address such situation? I have to tell. But then, I will end up committing Vaishnava aparadh. So how do I deal with it? Right? So Prabhupada, he said that, do you offer him milk every night? No, Prabhupada. I don't offer him milk. So he was saying that if you can show love, right, then the person will take it positively. If you're able to show love, if you're caring for the person, then you have the right to also chastise or correct the person. Otherwise, nobody is going to accept correction. We don't like feedback. Nobody likes feedback, right? No matter how nicely it is put, nobody likes it. Right? But if the person knows, okay, he is telling for my benefit, which I तभी immediately ना समझ में, बाद में भी समझ में है कि okay, this person has the best interest in his heart for me, my best interest, so he can still take it positively. Sorry, coming back to your question, why bad things happen to good people? So it is our own karma at the end of the day, right? So either in this life you might be good, but you don't know about the previous lives. Dhritarashtra, he 50 lifetimes ago, he was a hunter and he had set up a trap on top of a tree where there were two birds living, or one bird living basically, and with 100 chicks, right? So उसने क्या किया, ऊपर नेट डाल दिया, नीचे से आग जला दी. So all the chicks were like burning, and the father bird, he came and was trying to free the chicks from the net. He was trying to break away the net so that he can save some chicks. And in the process, his eyes got burnt. So he has to get a reaction for his karma. His 100 sons have to die. Right? But for him to have 100 sons, he needs so much punya. He needs so much piety to actually beget 100 sons. So over 50 lifetimes, he accumulated that piety to beget 100 children. And then he got 100 sons, and they were all killed in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and he was born blind. Yeah? So that's how karma works. So it's our own karma which is coming back to us in some shape and form. So if you do good right now, you know your future is secured. Since you've done bad in past, ab you mil raha hai. But if you choose to do good right now, at least your future is secured. बोले नहीं अरे मैं तो अच्छा कर रहा हूँ फिर भी बुरा हो रहा है बुरा ही करना चाहिए तो आगे और बुरा मिलेगा. Okay, so let's chant the 9th verse. You want to read? 9.9. 9th chapter is one chapter you should memorize all the shlokas.
Can I ask you?
Yes.
So, in like one of the classes that we did the 9 processes of the school. Mujhe, I wanted to know the difference between Kirtanam and Vandanam because one is chanting, one is praying.
Vandanam is offering obeisances.
Vandana
Vandana karna.
Okay.
Praise.
Praise. You can prayers bhi hota hai.
Because जब मैं वो 9 says when I was writing it down, so 9 वापस देखा, so with Hindi was the English meaning also, right? जैसे अभी कीर्तनम में लिखा है chanting and then Vandanam में लिखा है prayers. So I was thinking chanting and prayers, like what is the difference between praying?
So you could pray if you're in distress. Correct? You will pray, oh God, please save me. Have that prayer. Chanting is glorifying Krishna and asking for service of Krishna. Does that make sense? You're glorifying Krishna, right? Like right now, we are also doing kirtan, right? We are not the kirtan which we did, even now, right? When we are speaking from Bhagavad Gita or we are discussing Bhagavatam, right? We are discussing the glories of Krishna.
Right.
Kirti Gana, that's kirtan, right? So kirtana. Okay. Prayers could be separate from kirtan also. There definitely a lot of times there is a lot of kirtan within prayers also, right? Like Narad Muni will first glorify Krishna and then request a benediction, right? Or it could be simply requesting a benediction. Oh God, please, help me. I am in trouble, right? There are so many prayers in Bhagavatam. Gajendra Moksha, Kuntī Stuti. Then there is prayers by Vedas personified in 10th canto. There are so many other prayers, I think, multiple. Okay, again.
Nacha mam tani karmani
Nacha māgāni karmāni
nipadnanti dhananjaya
nipadnanti dhananjaya
dasinam asaktam teshu karmashu.
Repeat that a few times.
Nacha mam tani karmani
Nacha māgāni karmāni
jaya
nipadnanti dhananjaya
dasinam asaktam teshu karmashu.
Anyone would like to chant the shloka? All right.
Nacha mam tani karmani
Nacha māgāni karmāni
nibadhanti dhananjaya
nipadnanti dhananjaya
dasinam
asinam
asaktam teshu karmeshu.
Anyone else? Go ahead.
Nachamam tani karmani
Nacha māgāni karmāni
nibanti dhananjaya
nipadnanti dhananjaya
Udasinavad asinam.
Udasina asinam.
Asaktam teshu karmasu.
Asaktam teshu karmasu. Anyone from the Mafti side? Yeah.
Nachamam karmani
Nachadamani karmani. Udasina asinam. Asaktam teshu karmasu. Please read the translation. Anyone wants to read?
O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached, seated as though neutral.
I am already ever detached from
I am ever detached, seated as though neutral.
from all material activities. Oh.
That's why I asked you if this is right.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get a fresh copy, I guess.
Okay, I'll read again. O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral.
Right.
Yeah, this makes more sense now.
Yeah. So, in the previous verses, Krishna has discussed that how the entire cosmic manifestation runs under his control, right? By his will, everything is manifested and annihilated. He's talking about his opulences, right? The beginning of this is just a few shlokas before. Krishna's talking about his opulences and how everything is under his control, right? And then he makes this, and in fact, he gave the example of, just as wind is contained in the sky, right? Similarly, everything is contained in him, but he's still aloof. He's still separate. So he's kind of reinforcing, the similar point. He's saying, "Oh, Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I'm ever detached from all material activities, seated as though neutral." So one may think that, oh, Krishna is doing, he's running the show, right? He's doing all kinds of activities, creation, annihilation, maintenance, right? Everything is resting in him. He's everywhere. He's the sanctioning authority for all the activities, right? And his energies in the form of the three modes of material nature are carrying out all the activities that there is, right? So it may seem that he's doing a lot of work, right? So, but he's saying that all this work doesn't bind him. Just like a king, he may sometimes go to a jail, right? Just to see कि साल में एक बार annual day होएगा उनका jail का देखने के लिए कि सब ठीक ठाक है कि नहीं, सुधर रहे कि नहीं, and all the facilities are good for them or not. So he'll visit the jail, and he's walking, he's inspecting the jail with the jailer, and one of the कैदी, he's like, अरे देखो, राजा भी जेल में, he'll laugh, राजा भी जेल में, right? Is that correct? Okay. Right. Although the king have entered the jail and he is inspecting, he is not subjected to the rules and regulations of the jail. आपको हिंदी, sorry, English समझ में आ रहा है अच्छे से? Okay. So he's not subjected to the rules and regulations of the jail. Right. It's meant for all the other people. Right. So similarly, Krishna is not affected by any of these activities. It's not that उनको भी कर्म का बंधन लग जाता है. Right. He'll also get some reactions. Right. Like there's a community which believe that, oh, Krishna is right now suffering in hell because of all the activities which he has done. Krishna Leela, right? There's a community who thinks that, oh, Krishna has done so many activities, he's cheated so many girls, etc., etc. So right now he's in hell, he's suffering, and once that term is over, then he'll become God. So I won't name the community, but there is one like that. So they fail to understand that God is God in all conditions. God is God in all conditions, right? And like we were discussing, right? Morality, immorality, right? So all these things actually do not apply to the Supreme Personality of Godhead because he's on the absolute platform. Whatever he does is all good. Right? Doesn't come under the category कि अरे हाँ materially ये moral है ये immoral है क्या है. Right? Whatever he does is supreme absolute truth. Right? And here Prabhupada makes a nice point, right? He's saying he's always involved in his eternal blissful spiritual activities, but he has nothing to do with the material activities. Material activities are being carried out by his different potencies. So another reason that why Krishna is not affected, because all these activities are actually ऐसा नहीं कि भगवान को खुद खड़े लेकर के सब करवाना पड़ता है या खुद कर रहे हैं, right? जब तक वो kick start नहीं करे कुछ होगा नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. All these activities, the entire material creation is maintained by one of his expansions. Right? What is the shloka from Dhamma Samhita? Those shloka from Dhamma Samhita. Even I forgot. You have to tell me. चक्षुरेषु संकाशकिरणग्रहणं नहीं है. यस्यैक निश्वसितकालमथावलम्ब्य जीवन्ति लोमविलजा जगदन्ननाथ विष्णुर्महान् यस्य कला विशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. So Lord Brahma is praying and describing that just by whose breathing so many universes are emanating out of his pores, right? That Vishnu is a kala vishesha, and the smallest portion, smallest expansion of the expansion of Govindamadi Purusham, of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So Krishna doesn't interfere. It's one of his expansions maintaining the entire universe. Just hearing discussions in our Bhagavatam class, not today's Bhagavatam class, another Bhagavatam class. There's a description of Virat Rupa. There's a description of Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Shivadakshaya Vishnu. I think we've discussed multiple times. So very interesting. On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna showed his Vishwarupa. Right? What is the Vishwarupa?
He should, like he was everyone, like all the gods plus the entire universe was within him when he was breathing out, this new universe coming out, when he was breathing in,
what did Arjuna see? What did Arjuna see when he आगे आएगा 11th chapter? Afraid of seeing what? हाँ, तो क्या वो रूप का description क्या है? आग निकल रही है. Universe, I did not read the description of the universe is there in his mouth, but
you were sleeping all the enemies.
Yes.
Giving
all the people who had assembled on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, one of the mouths was devouring, all those people. There's fire from one mouth, right? Then
The other side was giving a new birth also, something like that.
okay, I don't remember that, but maybe. TV over the guys. We are visual learners. We remember what we see. Okay. So yeah, so actually Krishna showed in one picture, he showed a lot of forms, right? Different personalities, all the demigods, right? And he was present as Kali himself, devouring everyone. He was multiple features in a single picture, was shown. Overwhelming. Right? So it was very, very overwhelming for Arjuna, and therefore he was afraid. And then what he requested?
Come back to its original.
So then the Lord, he again came back to four-handed form. Yes, four-handed Vishnu form. And then what he requested?
requested him to come back to the
two-arm form. Yes. So we understand that how Krishna is the complete personality of Godhead. Within him there is the four-handed form. Within him there is the Virat Rupa, right? And when there is a description, actually Vishwarupa, when there is a description of Virat Rupa in the Srimad Bhagavatam, anyone knows Virat Rupa description in Srimad Bhagavatam? Okay.
Yes.
That is just description of Krishna. So this is description of his Virat Roop. Anyone knows any description from the second canto Bhagavatam? His navel is like the ocean. Yes. The hairs on his body are all the trees. Right? Mountains are his bones. Rivers are his veins. Clouds are his hair. The sun and moon are his two eyes. Right? And the demigods are his arms. The lower planetary system are his thighs, like that. So there's a lot of description of the entire universe. So that is actually an imaginary form. Not that it's an eternal form of the Lord. So just to help people who are not accustomed to understanding or knowing that the Lord has a form, for them to take that leap, there's a one-to-one mapping with the universe and the form of the Lord. The universe is not permanent, it's temporary. So this form is also in one, it's almost like a comparison, it's not really actual form like that. But it's a material form. But still, uska atma kaun hai, which is the super soul, which is actually running the show. So we can see how Krishna is actually running everything by being present everywhere. And yet he is aloof, yet he is not there. So you want to add something? Come here, let's do this. Okay, let's read the next one. Very famous Sloka.
Maya Dhyaksena Prakritihi
Maya dakshena prakriti
Yate Sacharacharam
suyate sacharacharam
Ketu Teya
etuna
Jagat Vipra Parivardate
jagat parivartate
Maya Dhyaksena Prakritihi
Maya dakshena prakriti
Yate Sacharacharam
suyate sacharacharam
Ketu Nila Kauteya Parivardate
Very, very important Shloka. Translation, someone can read? You want to read?
This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction. Kusala Kuntī, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its view, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again.
Right. So anyone who says, "Kya re batao kya likha hai? Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead," right? Or show me where Krishna as God is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. One of the verses. Many verses, but one of the important verses where Krishna is saying, Maya Dakshina Prakriti, this material nature, which is one of my energies, right, is working under my direction. So Krishna is master of material energy, not that when Krishna he appears, he is under the influence of material energy. बहुत सारे लोग सोचते हैं कि अरे भगवान अवतार लेते हैं वो भी माया के अंतर्गत आ जाते हैं, जैसे मैंने एग्जांपल दिया जेल का थोड़ी देर पहले, right? They also think that oh, Krishna is also under Maya. He had a material body. He also left his body, right? उनको भी तीर लगा पैर. He also left his body. So they have all these arguments. These are all atheistic arguments actually. And Krishna himself. So somebody who wants to become a devotee of the Lord, Krishna reveals real knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Somebody who wants to become an atheist, वो atheist बनने के लिए भी थोड़ा intelligence चाहिए. Right, to defy what is obvious also requires some intelligence. वो intelligence कहाँ से आता है? कृष्ण से ही आता है. उनके अलावा कहीं और से नहीं आ सकता है. Right? So Krishna just to help give some material कि भाई कुछ study material ले लो भाई atheist, right? उनको कुछ material देने के लिए He plays the pastime where somebody is shooting arrow and it sticks in his toe, and then he actually leaves a body behind just to give some क्या बोलते हैं material to talk about to the atheist. वरना बेचारे atheist क्या करेंगे? Right? They'll be dissatisfied. They'll be like defeated every now and then. So they need something or the other to कुछ तो आधार होना चाहिए. तो आधार देने के लिए भगवान ने उनको भी satisfy कर लिया. ठीक है ले लो like that. But here we clearly understand that how Krishna is the master of material energy and he's controlling everything. We'll read the purport a little bit.
So I heard this. So our Guru Maharaj, once he was at the airport, and this lady was continuously arguing with him how God is not there. And then Guru Maharaj just, kept quiet. After some days, so then Guru Maharaj writes that it just took one earthquake for her to come back. And join the movement.
Hare Krishna. So somebody who doesn't believe in Krishna or denies the existence of the Lord, he will see God face to face in the form of death. Follows me, Krishna is time, the destroyer of three worlds. So he may deny his entire life while he is living. There's no God, but still he'll see God at the time of death, in the form of death itself, death personified. So Krishna is saying here, I am the father. The father gives seed to the womb of the mother for the child. And similarly, the Supreme Lord, by his mere glance, injects all living entities into the womb of material nature, and they come out in a different form and species according to their last desires and activities. Very, very interesting. So there are two levels of creation, rather three levels of creation, but we'll just discuss two right now. So primary creation is where Lord Mahavishnu is breathing out, so all the material energies, the universes are coming out of his pores, and then he glances on this entire cloud called Mahatattva, which is the material elements, and he injects it with three things. Anyone knows what are the three things? No. So Mahavishnu, he glances on the material nature. We can, for now, for the sake of simplicity, we call that unmanifested material elements as Mahatattva. So there are unmanifested material elements floating like a cloud. And Lord Mahavishnu glances over it. Because of his glance, three things are injected in it. And because of which the whole creation happens. Jiva, Bhautik Prakriti nahi. Karma,
ये इसको जानने योग्य something
नहीं वो अलग है. जो आप बोल रहे हो वो अलग है. Kala. So three things: Jiva, Kal, and Karma. So with his glance, he actually injects the time factor, the Jivas, and their karmas. Right? So the living entity, along with this karma, is injected with the time factor.
that is correct.
Kal. So that's how the material creation gets activated. It started like that. And then there is secondary creation where each universe is filled up, right? So original creation kahan se shuru hua? Mahavishnu. So he gave the seed. Seed is all of us, Jivatmas, along with our karma and time factor.
For karma is also given by Krishna.
It's from the previous, whatever previous karmas we've done, we continue. So it's like at the end of every day of Brahma, right? The lotus goes inside, and we have almost like, what is the time? 432 billion years, or what was it? 432,000. No, 430. 6.4 billion years. My bad. So 6.4 billion is 12 hours in the morning, from morning, I mean, and his night is also 6.4 billion, like that. So during his night, the entire time we are sleeping, right? So next kalpa, the next day of Brahma, we are born again And our last karma ke hisab se, whatever karma is there, that again comes. So this is every day of Brahma. But then when Brahma dies, the whole creation is sucked in back into the pores of Mahavishnu. Again he exhales, all the universes come out. And then he glances in that cloud, etc. again. So the previous Brahma के life में जो हमारा कर्म होगा ना वो वापस inject हो जाएगा वहीं से start होगा wherever we left off we continue. No, it's a yuga cycle, na? You can be born in Satyuga as an earthworm if you don't have enough piety to be born as a human. Or you may be, even in Satyuga, you might be born in some hellish planets. Right? You want to say something?
Yeah. So, like, I've seen so many people die, like, anything, something random happen and gone. So, like, on one side, we are Krishna's children. So much love. But on the other side, why are we treated like this dirt speck of, or how the scriptures describe that water drop on the leaf, we are just like.
Correct. Because that's our position.
So children or dirt?
Both.
Yeah.
We are not dirt in the eyes of Krishna for sure, but we should realize that although we are so insignificant, right? It's almost like speck of dirt. भगवान के लिए एक यूनिवर्स भी ऐसा, imagine this entire room, पूरे room को top to bottom, right? In all directions, we fill it with राई के दाने होता है ना, पूरे room को राई के दाने से भर दो, खचाखच, top तक, right? कितने राई के दाने? Cannot count them, right? And then also देखिए कि राई का दाना निकल के गिर गया या बाहर चला गया, टूट गया, क्या फर्क पड़ेगा? कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला है. So our universe is like that. The entire universe is just like a small, like that. भगवान को जब चाहिए ऐसा उड़ा सकते हैं, but still he's so caring and loving. He enters every universe. Within that, we are so tiny, and then he sits along with us as Paramatma, and he's very anxious, extremely anxious to take us back to God. He's always with us, and he's planning somehow or the other you should come back. And therefore, he repeatedly comes. There are so many kinds of avatars. Krishna takes over hearing the other day, right? There is Guna avatar, there is Leela avatar, there is Manvantar avatar, there is Purusha avatars, right? Dash avatar, वो लीला अवतार में आ जाते हैं. Purusha avatars, right? There's Guna avatars, different kinds of incarnation. So Bhagavatam, actually in the first canto itself, in the third chapter, it describes almost 22 incarnations, and then it states that there are unlimited incarnations of the Lord, which cannot be described also, right? But we're just mentioning 22 right now. So the point is that the Lord is extremely anxious. Why does he need to take incarnation? There's Shakti Veshavtar also, right? Why does he need to take incarnation? क्या जरूरत है?
He still cares for
This was one of the questions by the sages of Naimisharanya, actually.
Yeah. He still cares for me. And in Bhagavad Gita, somewhere it is written like he stays with us as a friend, as a Paramatma. He is a friend to guide us.
What is Sloka 15.15? I forgot. No, 15.15, where it says, Sarvasyaham Riti Sanyamishno Mata Kuter Jnana Mohanam Cha Videsha Charvari Aham Vedanta Krit Veda Vidya. No, not this one. Where it says, I am the most dear friend.
It's this.
15.15? No, not this one.
But you said.
I think it's maybe one or two shlokas. Maybe say. Two classes of being एक है ना? No, it's in the 15th chapter.
Is it the 14th one? It says, I am the fire of digestion in every living body and air of life.
Maybe we are dirt, but then when we
No, we are not done.
Can I share one example?
Yes, you can. Okay, I'm not able to find out. Okay.
It's also an affirmation.
Basically, Krishna is saying that I am the dearmost